Cause when that trumpet sound, boy, you don't wanna miss out. Either in or you're out. Ain't no straddling the fence. Either in or you're out. Ain't no straddling the fence. Either in or you're out. Ain't no straddling the fence. Either in the Lord or you're out. The Lord, either in or you're out. Ain't no straddling the fence. Either in or you're out. Ain't no straddling the fence. Either in or you're out. Ain't no straddling the fence. Either in the Lord or you're out.
You want your face up to the phone? Yes, sir. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
You want your picture up here twice?
No.
I got you on this one, on the main camera.
Okay, so
All right, so the got a couple of current events of the day, y'all. First one we're gonna talk about this potential war that's brewing over there between the U.S. and Iran, and we're gonna see what Ali, whatever his last name is talking about, what they're gonna end up doing.
Should know that if they start a war, this time it will be a... After Khamenei's warning of a regional war, is Washington now staring at its most dangerous Middle East scenario yet? One where every US base becomes a potential flashpoint? For the second time in weeks, American troops are being pulled back from the Middle East. A New York Times report reveals that hundreds of US soldiers have quietly been evacuated from Gulf bases. And it's not just America. NATO forces too are being secretly repositioned from key Middle East locations.
There you go.
Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump extended the deal deadline, only to instruct the army to take cover immediately after. For the second time in just a matter of weeks, reports of large-scale US troop movements out of the Middle East have sparked alarm bells, signaling renewed concerns that the region may once again be edging toward open conflict. The reported withdrawals
All right, well, I ain't gonna keep on.
from America's key Gulf bases
Yeah, from the mess he's starting up. So it seemed like they extended the little grace period for Iran to sign whatever deal that they talking about signing. So we'll see how long that gonna last. We'll see if it lasts to the night or until Monday morning. But this is some, I don't know if a lot of y'all seen it. Most I will that it'll play. But in the midst of this war brewing up, over in Iran, that they was burning the statue of Baal last week. And on the statue, they had Epstein's picture and Donald Trump's picture with the American flag and the Israeli flag on the foot of the statue, and then they set it on fire And then they said that
Flames rise in Tehran as a horned figure burns
America, the satanic.
in the heart of revolution rallies. Why were statues of the ancient deity Baal set alight across Iran? From biblical symbolism to modern conspiracy theories, this fiery spectacle is about far more than history. Iranian state-organized rallies marking the anniversary of Iran's 1979 Islamic Revolution took an unusual turn this week as demonstrators in several cities set fire to large statues depicting a horned, bull-headed figure identified by organizers as Baal, an ancient deity referenced in biblical and Islamic tradition. According to Iranian media, the coordinated burnings were framed as a symbolic protest against what organizers described as moral corruption in the West. Some of the events were reported to have taken place simultaneously in different cities. Images circulated online showed a towering bull-headed effigy engulfed in flames in Tehran's Azadi Square. In some instances, the displays included additional imagery, such as the number 666, and references to US President Donald Trump. Participants were heard chanting "Death to Israel" and "Death to America," slogans commonly heard at official anniversary gatherings. Iranian news agency Mehr described the effigy as the idol of Baal, portraying it as a false god associated with deviation from monotheism. Online speculation linked Epstein to ancient deities such as Baal or Moloch, figures that in some traditions are associated with child sacrifice. Iranian organizers described the statue burning as a symbolic act intended to draw attention to alleged corruption in Western political and financial systems. The anniversary events themselves included the usual displays of anti-US and anti-Israel rhetoric, flag burnings and speeches emphasizing resistance to foreign pressure. State media framed the effigy burnings as a message from Tehran to the wider world. However, the symbolism sparked debate within Iran. Some clerics reportedly expressed concern about invoking imagery tied to ancient deities, while online users questioned whether the act risked unintended religious connotations. The term Baal means lord or owner in ancient Semitic languages. In the ancient Near East, particularly among Canaanite peoples, Baal was worshipped as a fertility and storm deity, often referred to as the Lord of Rain and Dew. Archaeological discoveries at Ugarit in northwestern Syria in 1928 revealed tablets describing Baal as a warrior god, with Mount Zaphon believed to be present-day Jebel Akra on the Syria-Turkey border, identified as his mythological home. In Christian and Islamic texts, Baal is depicted as a false deity and rival to monotheistic worship. The Hebrew Bible presents him as a central rival to Yahweh, particularly during the reign of King Ahab and Queen Jezebel. In the New Testament, the name Beelzebub, linked to Baalzebub, appears in references to Satan. Scholars continue to debate the extent of evidence for child sacrifice in parts of the ancient Levant, with interpretations varying widely. In modern Iran, the reappearance of Baal as a symbol reflects less a historical argument and more a contemporary political message, one shaped by ideology, religious imagery, and global conspiracy narratives.
Really, it's just like after all this time that a lot of us been waking up and a lot of us been saying the same stuff whole time though. Been telling them, so now it's just like do people still choose to stay asleep or not? Because it's just to the time now where everything getting revealed. Because, I mean, we've been telling them about the blood sacrifices, you know. We've been telling them about the corruption within, you know, behind the scenes. And it's these, you know, even the Jewish moguls and everything. We've been saying everything. So, you know, to act surprised now, it's kind of like, it's like this is why we've been telling them the reality of it. But, like, now it's in their face. And now it's just, it's more real.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I think they broke it down and showed like even the mindset. I think everything is a mindset thing because it showed the mindset of how they brought back Baal up and burned that to let you know them people over there, they still reverence them the spiritual realm. You know, everybody trying to make it just political, just you know, just one-sided. But like we said earlier, it's really a combination. But that's what I think.
I didn't know that statue was over there like that.
You know, they had it over there like that either.
Did y'all know? The last one, I ain't gonna pull it up because I ain't got it. But what's his name? Prince Andrew over there in the UK got arrested. He was found on the files with Epstein. So he got locked up, but they ain't trying to put what it was for, but we already know what it was for. So he got arrested from that, and I think he may have to step down from his position over there too. One of the princes in Saudi Arabia was found on the list too. He had to step down. I don't know if he's going to jail or not. But that's the current event for this week.
Well, praise God. It was hefty right there. I mean, it fit right in what we was speaking on. But we've been speaking on the doctrine of the Messiah, just going through, you know, what his doctrine is. But pretty much the Messiah was just getting you ready for the end time. So he had an end time message, you know, and it's a lot of speculation about the mark of the beast and is we at that point yet and things like that. And I don't think we answer everything, and, you know, I don't think it's just something you just get a whole answer to, but for a lot of folks, you know, we only had one, you know, understanding coming out of whatever faction of religion or upbringing you had, which, you know, probably just 666, mark of the beast, you know, that's all you knew. I mean, we know we can't buy, we can't sell, but I don't know if everybody really know how to, like, play a factor in real time and, like, some of the probably superstitions behind it. But we'll just pick up. We can pick up. So basically what we'll go over today is we're just basically going over the mark of the beast, allegiance, covenant, and the empire pattern. So allegiance, covenant, and the empire pattern, them's kind of the topics. So this is not just about technology. We're not studying superstition. It's not just internet rumors. It's not just microchips or barcodes or speculations. We're studying the allegiances. So it might incorporate some of that, but we ain't singling in on either one. It said the mark of the beast has been reduced in modern conversation to technology, fear, but when you return to scripture, when you return to Hebrew covenant structure, Greek language, prophetic pattern, and historical context, you discover that it's not about gadgets. It's about worship. It's about authority. It's about loyalty. The real question is not what will the mark look like. The real question is who owns your allegiance. So basically, you know, ultimately, whatever happens, if it's physical, you know, which it will be physical, we'll get into that too, but the physicality of it, everything gotta manifest from an idea first. You know, everything in the universe manifested from an idea first. So the idea of who do you serve, that's the most important thing, because to keep it 100, you might not make it to see the mark of the beast. None of us in this room might not live that long. We don't know how long it takes until the mark comes. But if you already got a beastly mentality, then you already done showed your allegiance. But if we start in Revelation 13, so because a lot of folks is, and then it gets in your mind, oh, if I don't take a chip, then I'm good. I just won't take a chip. But that's just a physicality part of it. And what if it's not even a chip? Or what if it's more added to the chip? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I would rather be led by the Ruach to just abstain from all things unsafe, and then that way you covered. Follow a Torah path, and that's gonna cover you. But it's just crazy to see now all this stuff in the open, and then when they declassify files and stuff, it's just like, oh, everybody just take it as fact. But before, you was outcast from your family, you was a cuckoo bird, you was a dodo, you didn't drunk the Kool-Aid, they didn't say everything about you. And then now it's just like, oh yeah, ain't nobody gonna say, oh, you was right though. They ain't gonna say that for it. But, and not even for vainglory, but for real common sense. Like, I'm not saying everybody is on just the same page and, even solid doctrine. But we all know everybody got in their family or in their circle, somebody close, that person who always spoke a little deeper knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Do a little more. They might not even be in the truth, like all the way, like how we, ain't be. But somebody had that person that was like that little bit different, that little bit deeper. So I feel like the Most High always gonna send a messenger. And all through these years, we've been telling y'all, hey, saying prepare, repent, prepare. That's been the message. That's really the plight of an Israelite. Repent, prepare, raise up your seed to be the next generation. Do better than we did. That's really the goal. So here in Revelation 13, let's start at verse 16. We're going to go through 18. You got anything you want to add on?
Nah.
All right, at verse 16, it reads, and he calls it, I'm going to jump up to about verse 11, just to get a little more context. So it reads, so this is Revelation chapter 13 at 11, and it reads, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercises all power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from Shamayim on the Arats, or the earth, in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. It says, and if he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't want to bow down to the image of the beast, you should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark and the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. So I said, this is wisdom. This is something deeper. It says, "Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 636." So that's where you get the infamous 666. This is the verse right here. So as we read that, right, it says he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark. Then he says something important. It says, "Let him that hath understanding calculate the number." Notice the language. Calculate, discern, understand. Yehukanan assumes thoughtful believer. This is not chaos. This is structure. Okay, so basically, listen to the hints they're giving you.
Yeah.
So he said, "Here is wisdom." So so now your ear should be like in tune. Like, I mean, he about to drop some gems. "Let him that hath understanding," it says count. They're saying calculate the number of the beast. So add the number of the beast up. "For it is the number of man, and his number is 636." The Greek word mark. So can you click on that Greek word mark?
Yeah.
17 or 16. The Greek word mark. The word translated mark is charagma. In the Roman world, this word meant an engraved stamp, an official seal, a branding of ownership, or a state of authorization. Let me see. It's that
G5482.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
I can't pronounce it like them, okay?
You gotta have a lot of spit. That one,
yeah.
huh?
But what it say on yours?
A stump and imprinted mark. Same thing you got?
Similar, an engraved stamp, an official seal, a branding of ownership, state authorization.
This one says the mark branded upon the horses. Let me see if there's anything else on here. No.
So like a brand.
Yeah. So basically showing the ownership. So if your cattle was lost, you know who to return it to.
That's remind me of them Greek sororities.
Yep. All of them get branded.
So when they say listen to the language, that's what they're saying. They're saying pay attention to the speech and how you can kind of like relate that to their mindset. They're used to branding their cattle. You know, the Greeks and the Romans, they brand their slaves too. Like in them gladiators and the Colosseums and stuff, they'll brand them. Mm-hmm. So this is a concept that is not foreign to them, right? Having a mark or a seal. It was used for Caesar's images, stamped on coins, official government documents, slave branding to show ownership, imperial, basically imperial signs, like to show they symbols, just like how you go downtown, probably see all they little statues and Masonic little idols. But basically, it's an imperial system language. When Revelation uses this word, it's invoking a word of state control, economic access, and political identity. The mark represents recognized participation inside a governing system. So it's like wearing your jersey for the team you play for. It's a worship and commerce are linked. Notice something critical. The mark is connected to buying and selling. It is not just belief. So, we get to talk about, is it just spiritual or is it physical? Well, this is a physical thing to do. This is a real action to buy or to sell. So it's not just belief, it is survival. The beast system does not simply demand that you think a certain way. It demands that you function within its structure. It uses economic pressure to leverage. It says, if you want to eat, if you want to trade, if you want to survive, you must align. This is about allegiance under pressure. So that's why you see everything intensifying, and that's why you also see the confusion they put before us. They got ICE, you got our people talking about ICE and going out there protesting, and it ain't even your fight technically. Like, in a sense, a lot of them folks is still Israelites, getting deported, stuff like that. Like a lot of the Haitian brothers and sisters still Israelites, but just on a citizen basis, like we ain't even in a position to do no help in a protest. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We don't even understand what these brothers and sisters are saying. We got to get on that level first. We got to wake them up first. But, a lot of the other nations that's getting deported, man, this ain't even got nothing to do with us. Like, we was already held cap. We prisoners here. And then we trying to fight somebody else's fight. Like, see, that's what always messes us up. We got focused back in on who we are. But it's telling us about Hebrew covenant background. So, we looked at the Greek side of it, right? So that's what the word would kind of deal with the branding, with the mark. Now we must step backward before we move forward. Revelation cannot be understood without Torah. So that's the part. Yehukanan writes in Greek. That's what they tell us. That could be debated. Are there any Hebrew manuscripts that will be discovered of the New Testament? Maybe that's defined. But what they're telling us is he's writing in Greek because it's mostly a Greek audience. But he thinks in Hebrew. But they still admit that it's a Hebrew thought frame. So that's what I be trying to kind of express to folks, even with this American language and this American thought, right? Like, we live in America, we was raised American, but we got to think Hebrew. So, like, that be the disconnect and why we sometimes can't figure out, like, which way to go, what to believe. It's you're trying to mix it with this Greek, American, Romanized thought, and it's two separate things. But you can operate righteously in a Greek environment and not know nothing about Hebrew, right? Like, I don't have to know the Hebrew language to do righteous acts, right? So I could be operating in America righteously, but not all the way, know the Hebrew, but still have a Hebrew like action mindset. So that's what's going on here. So if we go to Deuteronomy 6:6. Deuteronomy 6:6. And it reads, and these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. So we got to look at that. So these words shall be in your heart. Ye shall bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. This is covenant language. This is not decorative imagery. This is identity structure. So, from this verse here, if somebody was just to read this on a surface level, they'll probably look at it and say, and that's why you see them them Sephardic Jews over there, they buying the scripts on them phalanges. They wrap it around their hand like little leather bands with scriptures on them, and then they put a little cube in the middle of their head, and they strap it to their head, and they say they're fulfilling this verse. So, you know, on the surface level, yeah, the scripts work like that. Like, you know, he told you do something, do it. But on a deeper level, like, you gotta be talking about something more than that, right? Because how is that equating to anything righteous? I can have all the scripts on, I can have all the boxes on my head I want, and be out here doing wickedness.
All the tassels, all the fringes.
All the fringes, all the tassels.
All that still.
So it gotta be more than the physical, right? But then, so it says, let's look at the yod or the hand part. Will it show you on here? Let's see, what's that word for hand?
Verse
It
8.
should be yod, yeah.
Yeah.
Yod.
Yod or Yob with a W.
Okay, and what's it telling you?
Let me see. Let me scroll down.
The Hebrew word for hand is yod. The first letter is it's a yod or yod, as they call it.
Hand,
Yod.
strength, power, side of land, portion, various special technical sense, signs, monument, part, factual parts, shared times, axles, trees, axles, stays, support for lever, tension, and tabernacles. So I got a few things in here.
Okay. What Strong's number is there?
Hold on. H3027, I believe. Yep, H3027.
Strong's H 3027. Yod. Yod.
We got a lot of definitions.
Whoa.
So we go into this as well. Its numeric value is 10. So it's the 10th letter in the alphabet. And this is what 10 in Hebrew thought represents. Covenant, just like we got the 10 Commandments, accountability, and they're saying like how the plagues came and hit people. And then structure, dealing with like generations. The hand represents action, labor, work, what system benefits from your effort. So, you know, you could be getting money doing something wicked, right? So you could be technically like providing for your family and doing things like that, but you could own a strip club or something. Like how is that going to equate to righteousness when you get your money from wickedness? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what is you putting your energy and your work into? You know, all of this goes into the mark. You know, I seen a clip where they had military people already dibbling dabbling with the chip.
Well, you know, they the first guinea pigs.
Mm.
They the first guinea pigs because once you sign up for the military, you don't have no rights.
Mm.
So you got to do it or get thrown in jail.
But you know, that's who they're giving their energy to.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, coming up, that was always the best way to get your life started, was jump in the military.
So
For a lot of people.
So we thought,
You know, like all my grandparents and uncles and all them, some type of military background. So I woke up from Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali said, "Sure, I'd rather go sit than go fight for y'all."
Mm-hmm.
So I never really had that problem being brainwashed like that. But you know, a lot of us had. And then, like I remember, in high school, had a job at Kroger. They'll come up there try to recruit. He'd be up there trying to recruit on the regular.
Mm-hmm. They at the schools too.
Mm.
at the school, they come. They got their certain days they come during the lunches and whatnot. You know, all the different branches. You know, the Marines they come with the pull-up bar. Folks be doing pull-ups and whatnot. You know, back then, back when we was in school, it was just push-ups. So you do the most push-ups, and they give you a shirt for just doing the push-ups. They don't even give you shirts no more.
Oh, yeah.
No, they give you like pins and lanyards and stuff. So they didn't went cheaper. 10, 15 push-ups got you a shirt. Now you got to do a certain amount of pull-ups to get something off the table.
So yeah, you know, I think it's just important to figure out where your allegiance lies. You know, because that's how they trick us. That's how they suck us in, and that's really what Christianity do. Christianity to me, it merged in saying, "Oh, it's okay that I go along with the government system because I still serve God or whatever they call." So it's like it kind of like that excuse. Like Christianity is like the excuse to still do the paganism, but still feel in your heart that because it's the religion of the land, basically. But anyway, back to the yad or the hand. It deal with action, labor, work. So if you control the hand, you control livelihood. So when Revelation says the mark is in the hand, it is saying the beast governs participation, regulates labor, and the beast structure survival. The forehead, identity and allegiance. Now consider the forehead. In Hebrew thought, the forehead represents governing thought, authority, alignment, or ownership, or basically your thought process. The high priest also wore gold plate of the Father's name on his forehead, inscribed with Yahuwah. Holy to Yahuwah. That was the inscription on his head, set apart to Yahuwah. So they put that on the forehead. That inscription meant this mind belongs to Elohim. This identity belongs to covenant. So when Revelation speaks of the mark in the forehead, it means who governs your thinking, who defines your loyalty, who owns your identity. So that's what dealing with the forehead. So it's the physical of the hand, what you put your energy into, and the thought process of what is going on behind that forehead. Some of these people got 5 heads. But, you know, it's a combination of your thoughts and your actions, because ultimately your thoughts is going to lead to your actions.
Sorry. Well, you ain't following the Messiah ways, following their ways.
Exactly.
And then it's crazy because when y'all was in that, what was y'all looking up that definition in? Revelation
13?
13, 16. It's, you know how I get out A, B, C, different
Yeah.
definitions. One of them actually said people that are followers of the Antichrist. That was another definition of the mark. People that are followers of the Antichrist. I'm gonna go back to it for y'all.
Yeah,
Revelation what?
Let me
13 started.
He started at 11.
Where was y'all looking at the mark?
I think it was 16. I think it was 16.
You in the BLB?
Yes, I'm pulling it up now.
Yep, 16 is in there.
All of the definition.
Yep, that's on description. Hey.
A mark stamped on the forehead or the hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist.
That was a good catch. I didn't even see that the first time.
So they know it's directly linked to the Antichrist.
Praise. Good catch, huh?
So combine the meaning. So basically, the hand and the forehead, right? It says what you do, why you do it. The beast wants both. The seal of Elohim claims both. This is covenant confrontation. So it's basically going head to head. Because the whole thing is, Hashatan put up a challenge against Yahuwah. We remember that in Isaiah, right? Remember, he said, I'm going to rise above the throne of the Most High. So everything you see from Hashatan is a counterfeit. So we just seen, he said, I'm going to bind these on your hand and on your foot, in between your frontlets of your eyelids. That's the same thing Hashatan is doing. So that's why he always attack your mind. That's why he got you scrolling 24/7 on TikTok.
When you do wicked things, first thing you're gonna do is your mind is touching.
And then it's gonna start in your mind, and then you're gonna go for. People gotta work themselves up to go do these killings. You know what I'm saying? Even to murder themselves.
Dope themselves.
That's why they sit there. You gotta work yourself up. Oh, I'm gonna do it. Then they got finally work themselves up, or they wimp out. Which we hope you wimp out. We don't.
Read this deep.
But it starts in your mind. Your mind is very valuable. Like a lot, like we ain't been given the severity of the matter. The attack is on the mind. That's why they wanted to attack your identity, because you don't know who you are. That's in your mind. That's why they want to attack your food. You are what you eat. What you eat is gonna affect your mind. You got a swine mentality. You got shrimp mentality.
You want to eat the boo-boo.
You got bottom feeder mentality, so you on the bottom of the barrel. So your worship is low level. You're really humanitarian. You're not even human. They're not even trying to let us be human. They said by the end of this year they got a robot that can carry a baby to full term in China. So these are just gateways for demons. Because it was a look at Enoch, they need a vessel. So they about to just roll them off the assembly line. Then they're going to send them to school with your children. So that's why he said, come up out of Babylon. It's getting there. Then they're going to be fighting for clone rights.
Yeah, they did that. They did that. Remember the movie Ted? The stuffed animal?
Mm-hmm.
And there, he went to court to fight for his rights. And end up winning, saying that he was basically equal to humans. And then, and then I think with one of them first generation robots, I think it was a female. I think they gave that female rights or whatever that robot was.
How you give a robot rights?
I don't know.
Just putting you up. Basically, your vehicle outside is equal to you. But we're gonna look at the importance of triple repetition. So, we see 666, right? So that actually, let's just read it. It's a 6 in Hebrew symbolism. 6 represents humanity. Man was created on the 6th day. 6 is incomplete. It falls short of 7. 7 represents divine fullness, completion, right? For a full week. It's 7 days in a week. Covenant perfection. Now understand something about Hebrew thought. Repetition intensifies meaning. So anytime you say something with the Hebrew thought, it intensifies it. So if you double it up, hallelujah, hallelujah, that's double hallelujah. Double portion. That's powerful, powerful. If you triple it up, it says when something is said twice, it confirms. So twice is confirming. When something is said 3 times, it signals ultimate fullness. Holy, holy, holy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Triple repetition means the highest expression. So like we seen in Revelation, it say, woe unto such and such, or holy, 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 the angels are singing. They, in the Hebrew thought, that is ultimate fulfillment. It says, so what is 666? It is humanity intensified, man attempting divine completeness, human authority elevated to God status. It is counterfeit fullness. It is a system of man replacing divine rule. So now you see the AI everywhere. You see the AI everywhere thinking for everybody. I mean, you know, it's a tool, but it's also an attempt. It's an attempt for Hashatan to continue to spread out. Yahuwah is in every place at all times. Yahuwah know everything. We feed in the AI and all these algorithms by our information and teaching it, but it's a counterfeit. Act like it know everything you put into it. So it's all a counterfeit. Yahuwah see everything. They got the telescopes up in outer space, look through your chimney. And they ain't never gonna spot no Santa Claus jumping down. But you know, they got all this technology trying to mimic what's natural from Yahuwah. So that's the same thing with the 666. It falling short of completeness. Yahuwah is always gonna be complete. So this system of B system is gonna be, it's almost like the opposite view of what the millennial reign gonna look like. In the millennial reign, it's gonna be order. It's gonna be not the Antichrist, but the true Mashiach, the true Christ. You see what I'm saying? So this mark of the beast system is basically a counterfeit kingdom set up, but it's almost the opposite because there ain't no joy. This is just a little bit of information. The 616 variant. Some manuscripts read 616. So they're gonna go into. So you might be doing some study, or you might hear, you know, another translation, and it don't have 666. It might say 616. But here it say Nero Caesar, written in Hebrew letters, equals 666. In Latin spelling, it equals 616. So when you write Nero Caesar in Hebrew, it will equal 666. When you write it in Latin, which is probably what that manuscript was translated from, it'll say 616. It says, this tells us early believers were decoding imperial identity, but Nero was not the final beast. He was a shadow. The pattern existed before him, and it continues after him. So about Nero is like after the time of Messiah, but he's one of the, probably like, I think 5th century AD, if I'm not mistaken. But he was the 5th Roman emperor, if I'm not mistaken. So he basically killed a bunch of his family off to gain rule. I think he killed his siblings, killed his own mother. But he was oppressive to the early believers. You know, they gonna call them Christians, but the early believers, he oppressed them, and he would not let them worship. You know, you can do your Shabbat worship, can't keep your feast. You have to adhere to these Roman gods. So that's Nero. He was one of the big oppressors. So when they're decoding that, they're decoding his name into that. They're looking at him like, hey, he's the beast. But is it ironic that in the Hebrew characters, Nero actually equals up to 666? Like, I don't think that's a coincidence.
He committed suicide too.
He committed suicide like the age of 30, yeah. I think he wasn't even that old, but back then it was probably older.
I don't see it yet, bro.
Yeah, but he killed a bunch of his family, oppressed a bunch of believers, and
he died at 68.
68.
Yeah. Anything they're doing.
Well, see, that's how they was back then. They was about gaining political power. I mean, they still is. Mm-hmm. I think Trump is just a reminder of like how they really get down. I feel like, you know, for a long time, just looking at being in America, it make you think these other nations soft. Then, you know, you get Trump in office, and he ain't on that Biden tip or that Obama tip. Like, back then, you know, when a ruler asking for permission or trying to be politically correct and say, we coming, we want what we want, should we come and get that? But the basically the empire pattern. So the beast is not new. It is a recurring structure. Look at the book of Daniel. So now we kind of getting into what we're speaking on now. Daniel sees successive empires: Babylon, the Medo-Persian, Greece, Rome. Each empire escalates. And that's exactly what's going to happen as we move into the mark. It's going to keep escalating. So it's bad now. I mean, it's probably the worst we've seen it in our lifetimes, but it's only going to get worse. There's going to be pockets of peace there, but it's only going to get worse. So just like they show, each empire just kept getting worse, from Babylon to Persia, Greece, Rome. Each empire escalates. Pharaoh declared himself divine, oppressed covenant people, state power against divine authority. So even back with Pharaoh, he went against the Most High. He said, hey, look, my way or the highway, I don't care what your Elohim talking about. Nebuchadnezzar built an image, demanded worship, threatened death. So similar thing, right? You're going to bow down to this image. I don't, you got to abandon your beliefs. And if not, you're gonna die. So this is all beast structure. So the beast system been getting layered upon and perfected. Something Yahuwah do, he can do it like that, and it's perfect. It said he made man, he made woman, he made each day that was good. It wasn't until something came and introduced something to him till later it was defiled. But Yahuwah do something like that is perfect. Hashatan, he ain't never gonna live up to it because he's on the 6. But he can always attempt, right? He can always fall a little short of the 7. It's Antiochus Epiphanes. He outlawed Torah, defiled the temple, forced pagan sacrifice. So this is all beast system structure. And then it's going into Nero. Nero, imperial cult, persecution, state violence tied to worship. Each one embodies the pattern. Centralized authority, redirected worship, pressure against covenant loyalty. The final beast is culmination, not invention. So the beast system getting built. It's getting built in the book of 1 John 2 and 18. 1 John 2 and 18. And it reads,
hold on 1 second. No, bro.
Let's say this, 1 John and 2. At verse 18, it says, little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard, the Antichrist shall come. Even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. So he said, it's going to be, he said, you heard there's going to be Antichrist, but even right now, it's many Antichrists. Mm-hmm. So he said, this the end times. Already back then, so it was initiated. It's been initiated of the end. You see what I'm saying? So the end ain't something that just happened like that. Boom, it's been ended. And it's been building and it's escalating. It says Antichrist in place of Christ. It is the spirit before it is man. Whenever human authority replaces divine authority, the Antichrist pattern appears. Internal compromise precedes external enforcement. They went out from us. That's verse 19. Verse 19 says, they went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would not doubt. It says, would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not of us. It says, they went out from us, allegiance shifts quietly before it shifts publicly. So when it says they went out from us, look at how their allegiance shift. They was with us, but now they ain't with us no more.
Mm-hmm.
So, just because somebody with you in the beginning, that don't mean they're going to be there in the ending. It's a self-walk. It's a self-journey. Then we go into the sixth seal. The sixth seal, Revelation 6, describes, let's hit Revelation 6. It goes into talking about the seals. So it goes through the seals and down at verse 9, it talk about the fifth seal. At verse 12, talk about the sixth seal. It say, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of Shamayim fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is unshaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll, and when it was rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in dens and in rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the faces of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. Excuse me. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So, that's letting us know the time period of the sixth seal. I'm going to go back and look at the fifth seal at verse 9. It says, and when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Elohim and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O set apart? It says, it says, how long, O master, set apart and true? Dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season unto their fellow servants also, and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. So you could just see, that was a time of affliction they're talking about, because they cried out with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Yahuwah, set apart and true, dost thou not judge? And then when you see in 12, when it switch over, then we start seeing, we can immediately see some changes. We see the moon is turned, we see the earthquake, the sun became black, the moon became as blood. So these is pointers to, what seal we in. So we ain't in the sixth seal yet. I believe we're in the fifth seal. And moving deeper into Jacob's trouble. And Jacob's trouble is going to end up being so bad that that's how they're going to end up getting you to take the mark. So the mark could either be sometime at the end or in the shift of this fifth seal into the sixth, or after they crack that seal. I believe probably after they crack that seal, we'll go into that. You really open for that mark. But certain things in the scriptures just haven't taken place. There haven't been astronomical shifts like they said. Right. So something, and there's been people for a long time speculating, this year is going to be the end. You had people drink the Kool-Aid and kill themselves with Jim Jones. So, people have been trying to predict this thing when he said, no man knows the time of the hour. But that's why it's important to understand the mindset that we got to be in. So, because just in case, let's say I'm all the way off on prophecy or whatever. Hey, is your vessel clean? Is your mind right? Are you serving Yahuwah? Are you good to go? If you're good to go, you're good to go. But it say the sixth seal, it say earthquake, the sun's gonna be darkened, moon like blood. The Hebraic prophetic language, cosmic disturbance, often signals regime collapse, empire destabilization. Before judgment intensifies, there is sealing. Elohim marks his own before shaking increases, like Passover blood before plague. Sealing is basically his wrath. The seal comes before the storm. So that's why the importance is to keep your mind stayed on Yahuwah. So you can be one that is good. He said that it's in the New Testament will tell you Barak are those who take part in the first resurrection. So if you got a first resurrection mindset, you should be good to go mode. 1 John 2, that's what we read. It says, do not love the world. The world means system. 3 forces of power, beast structure, lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, pride of life, comfort, status, security. The mark is not forced first. It is desired first because you get all them luxuries from it. You get luxuries from joining with the government. You get luxuries from being politically correct. You get luxuries from accepting the LGBT community.
Being a good boy.
For being a good boy. You get luxuries from that. Just like the actors, they'll get down and do something that their lifestyle don't even agree with because of the luxuries. You on this level now, you got to put that dress on.
For that check.
What you want to do? They get you back there in that room. Hey, man, this is the deal.
We rewrote the script for you, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said for a cold beer out.
Cold beer. Like be fresh and tasty. Sound this was unhealthy for your body.
This is unlimited beer for you.
So basically, kind of closing it out. It's the issue is allegiance. So the issue is it's not explicitly technology, right? We believe, and I believe we know it's part of the technology, but it's not speculation. It's gonna happen. Dealing with the forehead, that's dealing with your thinking, dealing with our mind, just even in Hebrew thought, right? That's dealing with who benefits from our labor. Who benefits from our labor? It says the system offers survival through compromise. But scripture says the world passes away. Empires collapse, markets fail, regimes fail, covenant loyalty endures. The faithful are not those who escape pressure. They are those who remain sealed under pressure. So, with that thought process, how is the rapture theory gonna stand? See, they want you to think, oh, you gonna get raptured about here, you ain't got to worry about nothing. Yeah. So then that make you not even have to prepare for nothing.
Yeah.
You just sheep for the slaughter. So it's the faithful are not those who escape pressure, they are those who remain sealed under pressure. Do not give your mind, do not give your labor, do not give your allegiance, remain sealed. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Let's look at one more thing real quick in Matthew 24 and 24.
Yeah. Even with that rapture thing, God, they even said that wrong. Because they said, we said Matthew 24.
Yeah.
They said you being taken, you went to heaven. But the script say the one taken, the one killed.
Exactly.
So even with the movie, Left Behind, you thinking that Left Behind was a bad thing, but in reality, it endured to the end.
Mm-hmm.
You heard me? So all right, I'm there, bro.
All All right, Matthew 24 at verse, I'm going to say 23. It said, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Mashiach, or there, believe it not. So that's what we kind of spoke on briefly earlier, is being movements that said, hey, look, man, here's the Messiah, man, follow this movement, follow that movement. That's why just be careful following movements, follow the Messiah. Right, be careful following movements because people just move around so much. He's moving around. Lord, here you go. Hey, man, he got the truth. Hey, Lord, she got the truth. You got all these religions jumping up. It say, if any man, it says, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Mashiach, or there, believe it not. So believe the scriptures. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. So you can't even go off the signs and the wonders. You see what I'm saying? Because, I mean, naturally your mind is saying, well, they're doing big things, but got to be good. But you can't even go off the signs and the wonders. It says, in so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So there's going to be a lot of people getting deceived, which probably already have. I mean, and it might sound crazy to us, but if you look over there in Africa right now, dude over there talking about he Jesus and got 2 million people following him.
Huh? Who?
Some
And after?
Yeah.
True.
There's not.
Somebody over there who did that. Yahweh ben Yahweh.
Yeah.
He was a Hebrew.
He was, yeah.
Who the nigga in Africa saying this? This is news to me.
And some cat followers are.
It's not the heathen in Israel, is it?
That's another one.
Uh-huh.
But just like Yahushua said, it shall be many.
Yeah, when he blind. Then they say he was blind or
I
something.
didn't know that, boy. I didn't know that, boy.
He had a mask on and everything.
Somebody could say, man, spit in your eyes.
No.
We got the thumbnail this one.
Oh man. But yeah, so let's just hit it again. It said, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. So, you know, with this technology, great signs and wonders. With this economy, let's say they do the Bitcoin real big or the XRP, you know, great wonders. In so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall stay until you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forward. Behold, he is in secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For whosoever, or for wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagle be gathered together. So, you know, that is the Mashiach even speaking on the end times and the Antichrist. So, with everything in mind, right, it's not just one Antichrist. It's many Antichrists that's been like prototypes that got built on up until the point we are today. We got an Antichrist in office right now. Putin is probably Antichrist, right? A lot of these people is probably Antichrist. But we know that there is going to be one who stand above them all. But is we there yet? You know, I don't think we're there yet. I don't see the moon being red, blood. I don't see the sun being darkened. But just the affliction, even that Jacob got to go through, and the affliction that, you know, the world's going to go through, it's going to be at a much higher level. But we already done seen prototypes of how that's going to look, right? You're not going to be able to just worship the Most High how you want. You're going to have to censor your shit. That's where censorship come in. So these are all beastly weapons. But, you know, when it comes to the chips and things, like, yeah, it probably will have some technology because they're doing everything through technology. And it's not going to be physical money. So it's going to be tied into the blockchain or whatever system they got out by then. And
We know it's going to be cashless for sure.
you said cashless?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's already almost there.
It's almost there.
What goes to?
I think that'd be a trading, some trading things you can be able to do with.
You'll always be able to border with.
I say one of the cities you can look at is always China, because even after COVID, China, I think, threw away majority of their money. It was on the street, if I remember correctly, and then they end up coming out with, with that facial recognition software and more enhanced than what it was already was. And then I think majority of them had the chip since COVID.
Yeah.
So I say China be the main city to look at when it comes to all that stuff. Because China.
And so, like, like, people be like, well, why you have a trip out, like, celebrating holidays and stuff like that? Because that's your mind. They already got you. Like, that's what I said. Like, man, you celebrate these holidays, you probably gonna take tomorrow. Like, it really be that simple. It'd be like, oh, man, you still stuck on church, you probably gonna take tomorrow. You down for the vaccine, you probably gonna take tomorrow. I know they don't want to hear it, but it's just because they already got your mind. You believe everything they tell you. Yeah. Like, you probably gonna take it. Like, half the Christian church probably gonna take it, then be up there on Sunday talking about don't take it. It ain't here yet. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be, but it's a separation coming. You know, I think it's really gonna be those who's really walking it. Man, we're gonna be separated. You ain't gonna be able to coexist. You know what I'm saying? Even just with this food thing, like, just try to eat healthy. And you're going to just see, like, dang, it almost ain't nothing on the shelf that you're picking up without investigating it. It got something in it. Yeah. But that's all I got. You got anything you want to add?
Nope. Excellent lesson, huh?
All praises, man. Shabbat Shalom, the 12 tribes worldwide. Whole tribe.
Yes, sir.
Shalom.